Okay, it is 6:30, and I'd like to call this meeting of council to order and acknowledge that the city of Winkler is situated on Treaty 1 land, home to the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that have been made on these territories and dedicate ourselves to a future based on respect for all peoples, moving forward to a harmonious, prosperous future together. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of July 14th, 2026 be adopted. Mover?
Andrew.
Second?
Marvin.
Do we have any additions or changes to that agenda?
Nope.
All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of June 23rd, 2026 be adopted. Mover?
Ryan.
Second?
Peter.
Minutes are attached. You've had a chance to review them. Any questions or comments? All in favor? And that is carried. We've got no correspondence today, which would take us to finance and accounts. Be it resolved that accounts payable in the amount of $684,223.46 as approved by the Finance Committee be approved for payment. Mover?
Andrew.
Second?
Ryan.
As always, the check register is attached. You've had an opportunity to see where every payment went. Any questions there? All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2357-25 to amend borrowing bylaw number 2307-23 be read a second time. Mover?
Andrew.
Second?
Ryan.
Jody, if you don't mind giving us a quick explanation of exactly what we're looking at.
Sure. This is the borrowing bylaw for the renewal of the Winkler Centennial Arena. And we received both a grant and a loan from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. And we were waiting for that to all be finalized so that we had the final details. And now that we do, we're just amending this bylaw to change the term from 15 years to 10 years and have the correct interest rate listed there as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Jody. Questions or comments from council? All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2357-25 to amend the borrowing bylaw number 2307-23 be read a third and final time. Mover?
Peter.
Second?
Don.
Thank you. We have the explanation. One final thoughts for questions if you have. I think the piece that I really liked as that is that we're able to shorten our debentures, which is part of what we've been working on for the last several years. So to see that enacted here and being able to go with the 10-year debenture, Jody, thank you to you and your team for helping us get here.
Certainly.
All in favor? And that is carried. A very exciting one here next. Whereas the 2025 audited consolidated financial statements have been prepared and presented by Exchange Group, now therefore be it resolved that Council for the City of Winkler tabled the 2025 audited consolidated financial statements as presented. Mover?
Marvin.
Second?
Ryan.
They're attached here. They've been presented to council already. Do you have any thoughts or comments on these?
It's nice to have a good review, a good report on that. Some over the years they figured it out, and there are no suggestions even on it for how we should improve it. So that's good to see.
Agreed.
Or
That
good people
really nice.
that work with us, for us, and the city staff.
Yep, absolutely. An unqualified opinion is always best.
Yeah.
And exciting to have this on our table today in the fact that I think this is the earliest in many years that we've been able to have it there. Because we consolidate with external organizations as well, we always have to wait until we get that information. And we're very thankful that those external organizations that we work with, we're very diligent in getting theirs put together very quickly. for us to be able to move this forward. So thank you, Pete and MSTW. You particularly worked very hard to get us to this place. So thank you. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the Exchange Group be appointed as auditor for the City of Winkler for years 2026, 2027, and 2028, as recommended by the Finance Committee. Mover.
Andrew.
Second.
Ryan.
Thoughts or comments, gentlemen?
Nope, they've been good.
Yeah.
Been very good. They're specialists in it, and they work very well with our staff to get timely reports out. So, not seeing anything further. All in favor? And that is carried. Speaking of swamp, be it resolved that the swamp board meeting minutes for the June 23rd, 2026 meeting be received for information. Mover.
Peter.
Second.
Michael.
Anything there we need to be aware of?
Pretty much business as usual, but our compost is coming in heavy now. We service more than just the 3 municipalities. We service a few other ones, and the pad was not built too big.
Excellent.
So I'm hoping that some of it will mature and we can screen the first windrow or two and make a product for the people to come pick up.
Excellent. Looking forward to seeing that.
It's exciting to see.
All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the Planning Committee minutes of the June 9th, 2026 meeting be adopted. Mover.
Don.
Second.
Ryan.
Again, attached for your review. Anything there we need to be or should be paying particular attention to?
I don't think so. All good.
Excellent. All in favor? Carried. That takes us to rezoning bylaw 2370-26 for 131 and 145 Albert Street. Be it resolved that the rezoning for number 2370-26 be given first reading. Mover.
Marvin.
Marvin got it. Don got the second. As we know, first reading simply puts it on the table and allows the rest of the work to happen. All in favor? Carried. That then takes us to be it resolved that rezoning bylaw number 2370-26 be given. No, that I just did. I'm sorry, gentlemen. Be it resolved that rezoning bylaw number 2372-26 be given first reading. This is for a rezoning of 194 and 200 Victoria Street. Again, first reading. Mover.
Peter.
Ryan.
Peter got it. Ryan got the second. This puts it on the table and allows the rest of the process to happen. All in favor? Carried. I'll run through the whereases here as well, just because they provide some context. Whereas the City of Winkler has received approval in principle for federal funding under the Rural Transit Solutions Fund for a transit capital project. And whereas the project includes the acquisition of accessible minibuses to support local transit services, be it resolved that Council hereby authorizes and endorses the purchase to support transit service for the City of Winkler, Manitoba, project number MB 123346. The city confirms that it has the authority and capacity to undertake the project and enter into a contribution agreement, and that the city manager is authorized to execute the agreement and all related documents on behalf of the City of Winkler. Mover.
Marvin.
Second.
Michael.
Jody, if you don't mind helping us walk through this one as well.
Yeah, since we started our pilot transit program, we've been looking for different solutions for funding at the other levels of government. This is one that came up. It is not operating grant, it is a capital grant. And what that would do would allow us to be able to buy some units assuming that, like, this isn't something we have to do, but assuming we move forward after the pilot program and we want to purchase our own vehicles, this would go a long way towards doing that. And so that would be a good contribution towards transit in Winkler.
I think rarely do we see 80% funding for
Agreed.
things. And I appreciate the fact that our staff were able to find this and to leave that as an option. We'll sign the agreement moving forward, but we don't have to move forward until such a time as the decision is made on whether to continue or not.
That's right.
So, any other questions, council?
How long is this open for?
I believe we did check to make sure there was enough time. It might be till the end of 2028.
Mhm.
I'd have to verify that, but we knew that it would give us enough time to even extend the pilot program and then decide if that's what we want to do.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Lots of window there for us to do that.
Good, thanks.
Thank you very much. Not seeing anything further. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the Community Futures Heartland AGM and board meeting minutes for June 22nd, 2026 be received for information. Mover.
Ryan.
Second.
Peter?
Again, minutes attached. Anything we should be aware of?
I think basically, yeah, the meeting, they talked about the financial position of obviously with the AGM and financial review or whatever of Community Futures Heartland, and they're in a good position to continue to do loans. They're also often they're the first choice for loans, and they kind of allow for banks to, or for individuals to use that as kind of the first money in, so that they can actually secure a loan from a bank or other financial institutions. So serving a good purpose in the community.
Very nice to see their partnership with BDC as well.
Exactly.
Now to be able to increase the amount of support to businesses. So,
Exactly. Yep.
good. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the Pembina Valley Local Immigration Partnership Board meeting minutes for June 11th, 2026 be received for information. Mover.
Michael.
Second.
Don?
Don, thank you. Anything there? A significant group of people working hard to make things work. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the Pembina Valley Water Co-op Board meeting minutes for June 19th, 2026 be received for information. Mover.
Marvin?
Second.
Michael.
Michael, thank you. Anything there, Marvin or Michael, we should be looking at?
I think one of the big things is we have adequate supply of water right now, but we know for growing and for dry periods and so on, there's always a challenge. So we are working hard at exploring other sources of water should we, well, not should be, but when we will need it in the valley. So obviously we know that we have 14 member municipalities that all take some of the water from there. So the growth is a really important thing, and the majority of our water currently comes from the Red River, which if it would be a prolonged period of dry like we had even a couple of years ago, it becomes a bit of a concern for us to have just one source of water for the co-op. So that's a big deal for us.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything further? All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the Discovery Nature Sanctuary Board meeting minutes for April 29th, 2026 be received for information. Mover.
Peter?
Second.
Michael.
Minutes are attached. Another group that does loads and loads of work and has got lots of stuff going on, helping to beautify our community, and it's nice to see. Anything else that you'd like to point out or note in the minutes?
Good to see a lot of people go visit there.
Absolutely it is.
There's always somebody on the parking lot.
All in favor? And that is carried. That would take us to delegations and public hearings. Be it resolved that this regular meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding public hearings. Mover,
Ryan,
second.
Don,
All in favor? Carried. Jody, I'll ask you to go through the process for our public hearings.
Indeed. So we have two public hearings today, and if there's anyone here to speak either for or against the proposals, then we ask you to come up to the podium at the microphone and state your name, and then you can speak to the matter either for or against.
Thank you, Jody. So the first hearing that we're going to look at this evening is public hearings for variance number VA 2026-004 at 367 Willow Drive. If there is anybody here wishing to speak to this, I'll give them an opportunity,
Do you want me to do a quick rundown or no?
if you would.
Sure. So the applicant and owner here is Herman Newfeld, as mentioned, 367 Willow Drive. The zoning there is R1, residential lower density. The purpose of the application is in order to construct an accessory building, a shed, and the variance requested is to reduce the north side yard setback from the required 5 feet to 2 feet 6 inches. And so there's also a note to council there about that, and a recommendation from planning that unless objections are received, to approve the variance. There was no objections to this application. There was one question, but no objection to it.
Okay, thank you, Jody. Is there anyone here wishing to speak further to this? Either for or against? Council? Thoughts? Be it resolved that public hearing for variation application number VA 2026-04 be closed. Mover,
Peter,
second.
Marvin,
All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that council approve variance number VA 2026-004. Mover,
Michael?
second.
Ryan,
Thank you. Any questions or concerns about this? All in favor? And that is carried. That would take us to public hearing for variance number VA 2026-005 at 920 Amber Street. Jody,
Mhm. Applicant and owner is K-Block Developments. And the zoning here is CG Commercial General. Purpose is to construct a commercial building. The variance requested here is to reduce the east front yard setback from the required 20 feet to 15 feet, and to reduce the west rear yard setback from the required 20 feet to 7 feet 5 inches. There's also a note to council there. And one of the things to perhaps note is that in principle, a lot of the things in this development were agreed to previously, but because each of them is being done in phases, that's why they individually come to council when variances are required. But planning staff have no concerns in approving this one, and we have received no objections.
thank you. Anybody here wishing to speak to this?
Good evening. I'm Frank Lawson with K-Block Developments. So what we're doing here at 920 is we had looked at 920 as being fronted onto Diamond so that we could keep the buildings consistent, facing south. Bringing in Amber Street causes the approach to come off of Amber. So I guess according to your guidelines, it would be the front onto Amber, but our goal is just to keep it consistent along Diamond, so that you have a consistent front there for the commercial buildings. So
Thank you.
So the building will look like the same, it's as the other ones?
It's,
with the
it's slightly
elevation.
smaller, but the facade on the south should
Yeah,
look
okay.
very much,
Right,
almost
okay.
identical to the
So it's
other
just
buildings, yeah.
just the entrance.
Yeah, it's just the approach is coming off of amber,
Okay.
not diamond.
Mhm.
But the setback from, we had the same thing with highways department. We got approval there with that setback, right? I mean, that's off the highway, not,
Yeah.
so.
Correct.
It's a
Right.
corner yard, so
Yeah.
not dealing with that.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else with questions or comments in this regard? Not seeing anything further. Council, other thoughts? Be it resolved that the public hearing for variation application number BA 2026-005 be closed. Mover.
Don,
Second.
Peter.
All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that council approve variation number VA 2026-005. Mover.
Don.
Marvin got it. Don got the second. Final thoughts? All in favor? Carried. That takes us to the end of our hearings this evening. Good night, Frank. Be it resolved that public hearings be adjourned and regular council reconvene. Mover.
Ryan.
Second.
Andrew.
All in favor? Carried. We have no additions, and I didn't state any additional business. I would like to take one moment here, though, to thank our staff for the extraordinary work that they've done this last week. As we were dealing with a cybersecurity incident, the amount of work that they have put in overtime hours and in sheer frustration trying to keep everything else moving, and how hard we've got to be back at a place today that we're at least somewhat operational again. Jody, thank you to you and your entire team. Please pass that on.
I will
from
do that.
council.
Thank you.
That takes us to questions from media or public relevant to this meeting of council. I don't see anybody in chambers with questions. We don't see anything online. Be it resolved that this regular meeting of council be adjourned. Mover.
Andrew.
Andrew, second.
Peter.
Peter, all in favor?